like Suzuki Roshi, Zen master, dying of cancer. If when I die I suffer, that's all right, you know. That's just suffering, Buddha. No confusion in it. Maybe everyone will suffer because of the physical or the spiritual agony, but that's not a problem. Having a limited life like we do, if you had a limitless life, that would be a real problem for you. If when I die I suffer, that's all right, you know. That's just suffering, Buddha. Sun Buddha, Moon Buddha, Happy Buddha, Sad Buddha. So in spiritual life, in spiritual practice, we tend to begin with outer forms of precepts to not harm, to speak the truth, to not act in ways that create suffering. We steady the mind through the breath and attention and meditation. Use these forms to discover or awaken, to come back to ourselves. In the moment that we recognize that we're not separate, we naturally can't harm another. Our problems come when we get identified with some story. We grasp at the senses, or this body, or our plans, the body of fear. The truth is, if you look at your mind, it's nothing. It's just a strange phenomena. Within itself, it's already peaceful. That your mind isn't peaceful is because it follows its moods, its likes and dislikes. The true mind doesn't have anything to it. It's simply an expression of nature. It becomes peaceful or agitated because our moods, likes and dislikes deceive it. Sense impressions come and trick it into happiness or suffering, sorrow or gladness. But the mind's true nature is none of these things. Gladness or sadness is not us, only the mood, the response. The unawakened mind gets lost, follows these things, forgets itself, and we then think it's we who are upset, or sad, or whatever. But really our mind is unmoving and peaceful, just like a leaf which is still as long as no wind blows. If a wind comes up, the leaf flutters. The fluttering is due to the wind, to the sense impressions, and the mind follows them. If it doesn't follow after them, it doesn't flutter. Our practice is to discover this original peace or original mind, to train our mind to know the impressions that arise and not get lost in them or their stories, to allow it to be peaceful. Just this is the aim of all the difficult practice we put ourselves through. Now it's important to understand that equanimity is not indifference. Indifference is the near enemy to equanimity. It masquerades as equanimity. That's a withdrawal, and it's really based on fear. True equanimity is the ability to open our eyes and our heart and enter life fully, to discover the capacity of the heart to open in the midst of all that presents itself to us. To rest in what T.S. Eliot called the still point of the turning world. At the still point of the turning world, neither from nor toward, at the still point, there the dance is, but neither arrest nor movement. And do not call it fixity, where past and future are gathered. Neither movement from nor toward, neither ascent nor decline. The inner freedom from practical desire, the release from action and suffering, release from the inner and outer compulsion, surrounded by a grace of sense, a white light, still and moving. Except for the point, the still point, there would be no dance, and there is only the dance. And as we stop and pay attention and practice, as the heart opens and the compassion of our own Buddha nature opens, we can weep tears for ourselves, for the confusion of others, for the sorrow of all beings. And then wonder, well, how can you trust? How can you hold all of this with compassion? It is what we are. We sense that there's some sort of spirit that loves birds and animals and the ants, says Kabir. Perhaps that same spirit who gave a radiance to you in your mother's womb. Is it logical you would be walking around entirely orphaned now? The truth is you turned away yourself and decided to go into the dark. And now you're tangled up and have forgotten what you once knew. Kabir says, why not remember? Today is a good day to do it.